Good morning from a very damp, about 8 degrees in the morning here, 6 a.m. Sun just coming up. We've had torrential rain here in Victoria and in British Columbia. You may have read in the newspaper, we've seen on the news. We're pretty safe in Victoria. It's pretty benign weather here, but just north of us, some flooding, and of course in the interior of BC. So we're thinking about those guys in Merritt, which is a small town but totally cut off. Oh, hummingbird, come to join us. Anyway, good morning from Victoria, BC. Hope it's great wherever you are. Just doing a catch-up blog today. What's going on with the system, what's going on at Audiophilia, and some vinyl information, and some other things, just to catch up. The good news as I start my day, ready to write and edit Audiophilia, is that I finally got the microphone sorted out. You can probably tell that the sound is way better. This is a Sony Mic. Interesting, it's a Sony Mic with a Sony camera. The first thing it says is not compatible with the camera. Anyway, we got it working, and I'll talk a little bit more about the mic and what it is and how it works in a bit. This is the new Allneck Audio L10000 OCL preamplifier. It's $30,000 US, and I'm doing a review right now. The review should be up early next year. It's quite magnificent in its visuals. You'll have to wait to hear about the sound. It has one of those side power cables, kindly provided by Allneck. 300B tubes in Kangsu Park's topology. And a real metal remote. I'm going to be talking about remote controls next year. All companies should be providing decent remotes, even on fairly inexpensive products. I've received some products this year and last year, very expensive, with really plastic, fantastic remotes. Of course, you know these, I've reviewed them, the MBLs. Comes with the world's greatest remote. Check out the reviews to have a look. I'm going to talk a little bit about some vinyl that I got over the last couple of weeks. They'll be used in reviews and or fully reviewed in Audiophilia coming up early in the next year. But the microphone, to go back to that from a previous mention, this is the Sony wireless microphone. It's the ECM-W2BT. And it doesn't just work very well, it looks great too on top of my Sony camera. And I'm also using the shotgun microphone that goes with it. So I think it's working out really well, considering that I've had about a year of trial and error with all sorts of different microphones. This seems to work the best. Of course, I'm still working on getting sound out of this amazing system for at least you guys to hear a little bit of what it actually sounds like. But boy, they make it almost impossible, YouTube. The 128 download is awful. And of course, the dreaded algorithm bots for the copyright. Like I said, we talked about this before. I don't want to go into it. But, you know, of course we believe in copyright. I mean, we've had enough stuff stolen from Audiophilia over the years that I really believe in copyright. But 10 seconds of music of an old recording of Mozart gets dinged like it's ridiculous. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Let's talk about some nice vinyl that I got. We have three stories. Two good and one not so good, unfortunately. So this is the first one I got. It's brand new. From the recording was 2007. Carole King and James Taylor live at the Troubadour in a beautiful gatefold production. There they are. The great lady herself and the great gentleman. Two incredibly talented human beings. Now, I was looking for the AAA symbol. Couldn't find it. I think this was recorded digitally. But as someone mentioned Doug Sachs, I didn't think I could find him on but I know that it was Bernie Grundman mastering, so I'm sure it'll be great. But I'm looking forward to playing that and talking about that with you in the new year. It also comes with this inner sleeve with lots of photographs and notes. The second story is also very pleasant. I've not heard it yet because my vinyl, I'm down vinyl at the moment. I'm waiting for my new phono stage. I'm not going to talk to you about that right now because I'll be doing a full review about that. But I'm looking forward to hearing this. This is sent to me by Stephen Mokel or Merkel. I'm not sure. Sorry, Stephen, to mispronouncing your name. Stephen is the concertmaster of the Phoenix Symphony Orchestra in Arizona. This is called Say Solo, Looking Within. Very interesting pandemic cover. Stephen, a very handsome fellow, wearing a mask with his violin. I'm not sure what kind of violin that is, Strad or Guarnerius, if we're lucky. And there's the handsome gentleman on the back. And he's playing the Bach Sonata in G minor, and two Paganini Caprices, and an Isai Sonata. So it's a bit of a hodgepodge, but I'm looking forward to hearing it. And it's nice that these artists are releasing stuff on vinyl as well. So we're very happy for that. Now to the unpleasant one. And I'll give you the shot first. This is the EMI Testament pressing of the Elgar Cello Concerto. That's with Sir John Barbaroli with the LSO, and of course, the great lady herself, Jacqueline du Pré. For those of you who don't know Jacqueline du Pré, she was a Guildhall School of Music student in London, won the gold medal, and she was an amazing cellist, not just technically brilliant, but one of the greatest musicians of all time. And it shows in her recordings. And this one is, of course, one of the most famous cello concertos, along with the Dvorak. And she plays the hell out of it. Everyone considers it not just one of the greatest Elgar version, but one of the greatest recordings of all time. And I've been looking for this for a long time. The original EMI is unobtainium, or it's very, very expensive. Then I got all excited because Amazon had the Warner pressing, the reissue. I get it. It's a pristine pressing, but it's done from a digital source, and it just sounded awful. I couldn't get it back to Amazon fast enough, so I sent that one back. Then I think it's called the Electric Recording Company. They released very limited runs of incredibly beautifully pressed and remastered recordings, and of course they did this one. I think they were like 400 US, they did 500 US, and they did about 350 of them. They sold out, of course, immediately. It's like getting a new Porsche or a new Rolex. They just sell out immediately. So that was a no-go. Then MJ, Michael Johnson, on our staff at Audiophilia, said, I think there's a EMI Testament that I heard is pretty good. So I looked around. It was hard to find. So I did what I normally do. I just did a search in Google, and up came Acoustic Sounds. Now, I've purchased some Acoustic Sounds before, lots of times. Never a problem. The records are perfect. The analog productions from Chad Kassem, his own productions, are incredible. I've reviewed them. I've purchased them myself, and played them many, many, many times for reviews. They're incredible. And every time I've dealt with that company, it's been perfect. And this time, it was great too. I ordered it. By the time we added the shipping from Kansas to Victoria, about 2,000 miles, the record was about $100 US, which is about $100 Canadian, about $78 US. A lot for basically a $30 record. Anyway, no problem. Happy to pay it. Happy to get this. Finally, I get it. So it comes, take it out, clean it as usual, get the mold release agent off, put it on. There's a real problem beneath the music in the bass. Humping and bumping and dumping, and just awful sound. And unfortunately, it was all the way through side A and all the way through side B. So there's obviously something wrong with the pressing. So I called up the company, and one of the writers at Audiophilia said, "Oh, they're great. They probably won't even want the record back. They'll just send you another one." So I was all excited. Unfortunately, living in Canada, that isn't the way. I don't want any company to be out of pocket because of, my whims, especially my vinyl whims. But they were asking me to return the record at my expense, okay? But then they wanted to send me a new one, and then, of course, pay for the shipping again to Canada, which means this record, this magnificent record, would have cost me over $200 Canadian. That's not possible. So basically what I've got here is garbage, one of the world's greatest recordings that's unplayable, and I'm at $100. So there's my wine for the day. Again, I should say that I've never had a problem with that company before. They're a wonderful company. And the young lady who dealt with me on the phone, she couldn't have been sweeter and nicer. She was very apologetic. They wouldn't change their policy. And they didn't reach out to me, as some people thought they might. So there you go. Just be warned. Americans, go ahead and buy everything you can from that company. They're amazing. But Canadians or any international company, beware. If you get a bad record, it's gonna cost you. And you know what? Bad pressings happen. Well, thank you so much for watching the video. We've got lots of things happening coming up. Next month, we have our long-awaited Recordings of the Year 2021 and Products of the Year 2021. We got to listen to some amazing music this year, and we wrote about it either on social media posts or in reviews, or we did full reviews of CDs or vinyl, and we selected our favorites from this year, and also Products of the Year. We got to review some amazing products this year. Products keep getting better and better every year, and we're very lucky enough to review them. Of course, the prices are going up as well, but there's no doubt about it. The products are getting better and better. And coming up in 2022, the video you're looking at right now is that Ansys record clamp, very expensive, 6,000 euros. It's a challenging review, but I think it's going to be interesting to read. It'll certainly be very honest and accurate, and I'll relay exactly what I'm hearing when I put that on vinyl. And a lot of other components coming up and music reviews for 2020. So for the Americans, have a wonderful Thanksgiving coming up. And then later on in the month, for all of us, have a wonderful Christmas or whatever holiday you're celebrating. Thank you so much for reading Audiophilia. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. And we'll see you in the next video.